Hi everybody, it's Erin the Hiking Stitcher, and I'm coming to you with Flosstube number 6, I think. We'll go with that. I've done 2 Flosstube haul recaps in the last 24 hours, so I'm a little off count. But I just got back from Camp Black Needle in Kansas City, Missouri, so I wanted to go over and tell you guys all about my amazing weekend with my amazing friends. So, Camp Black Needle is an in person cross stitching retreat that is put on by the Black Needle Society, Katie and Laura. This is the first year I've been able to go because this is the first year I haven't had to work the same weekend that camp is. I recently decided to retire from teaching because my husband retired from his job. And so I no longer had to be back at work. So we immediately signed up for camp and I said, I want to go. I want to meet all my friends in person. And it was an amazing weekend. I'll start off with that. So I'm kind of just going to go through the weekend and my trip day by day and show you guys all the goodies and throw some pictures in here and shout out a lot of amazing people that I can't wait to hug in person again. So today is Friday, August 9th. So I left for Camp Black Needle last Tuesday. So if I'm kind of doing my math here correctly, that would be July 30th. So my husband and I drove from Virginia to Kansas City because my stepson and his family also live in the Kansas City area. So my husband got a chance to go see them while I was at retreat. So we left here and we took 2 days to drive. On that Tuesday night, we stopped in Lexington, Kentucky for dinner, and I got to hang out with my friend Amanda. On Instagram, she's Amanda Stitches. Even though we were going to see each other at camp, we still stopped off and I had Culver's because I am addicted to Culver's. I have learned this. So we drove out there, and then after we drove through Lexington, Kentucky, we drove through Louisville, and then we drove straight into a severe storm in Indiana. So that was fun. We stayed overnight in Indiana and then got up on Wednesday and drove the rest of the way to Kansas City. We went over to the kids' house first and saw them. And then we got to the hotel in Blue Springs around 5 o'clock or so. And immediately, as soon as I walked in, I saw my friend Cece and their dog Pumpkin. And I saw my friend Sue waiting, like not really waiting for me, but we were all kind of checking in together. And it's one thing to see your friends on a computer screen like this for years. It's another thing to see them in person and hug them in person. And so there was a lot of kind of squealing and hugging and, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're really here going on. So Wednesday night, Sue said, hey, I got you some things. And I said, okay. So let me show you. So just so you know, Sue Gonzalez is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. She has a heart of gold and made gift bags for a lot of people. And no amount of telling her, no, you don't need to do that. She did it anyway. So because she knows that I'm a hiker, she saw this pattern. And not only did she buy it for me, she kitted it up for me. So this is a Bent Creek sampler called Begin. And a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And when she saw this, she thought of me because she knows I love to hike. She knows that one day it is my goal to hike the entire Appalachian Trail. So she thought this was a very appropriate pattern for me. So she went ahead and she got me all the fancy floss to go with it. She bought me, I believe it's a full like half, whatever. She bought me all this fabric for that teeny tiny little piece. So, wow. And then, so that if that wasn't enough, then Sue said, Sue knew that I was sad about missing Camp Black Needle the first 2 years. And so she had the camp pattern from the Black Needle Society. I bought this pattern digitally. She gave me the paper copy, and she gave me the fabric that went with it, all of the floss that went with it from Forbidden Fiber Co., and the little happy camper snail that came with it. So, oh my gosh. Oh, and she also gave me lavender bed spray to help me sleep. I never used it before. Give it a shot. But oh my gosh, Sue, thank you. That kind of blew me away with her kindness. I certainly was not expecting that. And she did similar gift bags for several of her friends. So, Sue, I love you. You're amazing. So then, so Wednesday evening, a whole bunch of us sat in the lobby. I sat with Cece and Naomi and Sarah, the redneck bifocal stitcher. And we just sat in the we just kind of sat in the lobby and stitched and just chatted. It was like a little family reunion. Retreat didn't even start till Thursday. So then Thursday, we didn't have to be into the stitching room until like 2 o'clock. And everybody was teasing me because at StitchCon, I was in line at 7 a.m. for a 10 a.m. opening. So they were like, no, Erin, you don't have to be that early. Amanda was one of the camp counselors and said, hey, you're at our table. You don't have to worry about it. It's cool. So Thursday morning, my husband and I had a chance to go play tourist. So since we were in Independence, Missouri, that also is the hometown of President Harry Truman. So we went to the Harry Truman Presidential Library and Museum to check out all the cool things that are there. We've been there before, but not since they'd renovated it. So we spent about an hour there. And then I remembered Independence, Missouri is where the Oregon Trail starts, or Oregon Trail, however you want to say it. And those of you of a certain age, like me, remember playing the computer game. So I was like, I wonder if there's a marker or something. Well, lo and behold, in downtown Independence, Missouri, there is a courthouse that I swear looks straight out of like Back to the Future courthouse. And in front of it is a big monument to both the start of the Oregon Trail and the Santa Fe Trail. So I got to stand where the Oregon Trail officially started, and no, I can say I have not died of dysentery. So we spent Thursday doing that, and I did pick up at the Truman House, this Truman House sampler. The Posey Collection does a lot of kind of these little heirloom series or patterns related to different things in American history. And so oftentimes you can find these in National Park Service gift shops. So I have several of her designs from different places. So I had, of course, to add the Truman House. So that is the house that President Truman and his wife lived in for pretty much their whole lives, except for when they went to the White House. So that was my first cross-stitch purchase of the weekend. So kind of move some of this out of the way because I want to make sure I have room for everything else. So once we got back, it was time for me to get together and go into the retreat. So they opened up the doors at 2, and I was sitting with Amanda, Cece, and their service dog Pumpkin, Mariette, Emily, Misty, Becky, and Lindsay. And I will try to link their Instagrams or particular socials down below. So I knew Mariette and Cece and Amanda through Black Needle Society. Amanda knew several of the other people. And this is Misty from Mystic Fabrics. So I got to sort of get an in with fabric dyer. So immediately, as soon as you sat down, the little mini trick or treat happened with all of the table gifts. So I gave all of my table the little 3D printed cauldrons that I no longer have because I gave them all away. So everybody at my table got a little 3D printed cauldron for an Ort jar, and they got to pick out some floss drops. So then people came, and let me just show you some of this. This is not all of the stuff that people gave, but I wanted to highlight some of the cool things that people at my table gave me. So I believe this is from Mariette. I think, maybe, Lindsay, I don't know. I am so sorry, but this is from one of my table mates, and this is a cute little pin cushion. So I took the dog because, I have Bo, and I love dogs, so this will work great to sit next to my stitchy space to put all my counting pins and other things that are not my needles in. And then Amanda made us all friendship bracelets. So Amanda is a huge Taylor Swift fan, massive Swiftie. I love her dearly. And so for the table, she made these little Camp B&S friendship bracelets. And then I'm pretty sure these are hers too. So then there's a Can't Be in a Scissor Fob. And then she also did floss cards of her kitties, because apparently it is a tradition to put your pet's pictures on floss drops. So be prepared, future campers, for pictures of Bo next year. So I now have pictures of all of Amanda's kitties. And then Becky is known as Stoner Creek Stitchery on Instagram. And so she gave out again some cool floss drops with her branding on it. Really, really cool. I like it. And a QR code to find her on Instagram. So if you scan it, I bet you find her on Instagram. Let's see, so many good things here. And at this point, I don't even remember who was from my table and who's not. I know that this, so Cece gave all of us Pride needle minders. No, she did not make these themselves, I'm sorry. And because they were asked all the time, but these were adorable. And then there's pictures of them and Pumpkin. And there's all their social info. And then there's Pink Pearl, their kitty. So I got that. And then some other random things. I know this came from Sarah Dockstader, the Redneck Bifocal Stitcher. Little hands. They were clapping with them, high-fiving them. Hi. So that was adorable. Lots and lots of stickers. So like I got one that says Feeling Stabby. I got another one, Wonder-Free and Queer. And then somebody dropped this down, so this could be used as a coaster. It could be used as an Ort holder, whatever I wanted it to be. I got some thread wax. I got a Q-snap holder. Froggers. Needle. Ooh, got like a 10-sided dice. And a really, really cool, like, star. So that is not all of the stuff that I got, but that is all the stuff. Those are some of my favorites. So when we sat down, I mean, this stuff appeared on my table in front of me within the first couple hours. So Thursday afternoon was spent mostly sitting there stitching. And then Thursday evening came around, and it was time for the quote-unquote opening ceremonies. So when we got there, we only got this shirt. So this is the camp shirt. So this was what we got along with our name tag. Let me find my name tag here. And it's at the bottom. So we got the camp shirt. So this is the camp t-shirt that we all got. And that's this year's snail. And the theme of this year's retreat was on holiday. So it was very holiday themed. You had different tables. We had Pride table, Hanukkah table, Friendsgiving table, Eid, New Year's, Mardi Gras, random holidays. So I was like, what the heck's up with the passport? I'm like, well, when you go on holiday, you need a passport. So hence, this is the t-shirt. So when we checked in, we got the t-shirt and we got our name tags. But no swag bag. All right, we'll figure it out. I wasn't worried. Well, in the center of our table was a shoebox decorated with wrapping paper representing what holiday our table was. So our table was the Pride table, so we had rainbow colored wrapping paper. And so they said, okay, open those up. And inside, everybody got a bag. And it's a zippered bag. And so rather than just handing it all out, or rather than having it filled, we went around the room to different people and trick-or-treated for all the items in our bag. So I'm going to show you, to the best of my ability, all the things that came in the swag bag. So the first piece was this project bag. So there's our little camp snail. And on the back side, it has the camp pattern. So this is the pattern that they designed and gave to us at camp. So it's a good day to celebrate, designed by Katie Landis. And so that was one station. And then you went to another station, and then you got the fabric, which I already have here started. So I got 16 count Aida vintage from Be Stitch Me. So this is the called for fabric for the project. And you can see where I started. I have a little start on the full retreat piece. So we got the project. And then we also, of course, got all the flosses to go with it. So these are all Gentle Arts floss. And so this is the color palette. And I tell y'all, I love these colors. I love the way that they work together. I love the way that they look on the fabric here. You see how that looks? That's going to turn out amazing. And then we also got this little thread jewelry, which I later found out doubles as a 2-inch starting square, because and it's also the same pattern as the pattern. And so when we were all looking at the fabric they'd given us and said, okay, do we have enough space on the fabric to stitch the camp snail and stitch the pattern? They said, yes, you just need a 2-inch border. I'm like, well, crap, I don't have an. They're like, well, there's one in your bag right here. So this is thread jewelry and doubles as a corner square. So that came in very handy. And then we got the needle minder. So it looks just like the t-shirt. Sorry about the glare. There we go. So we got the needle minder that went with it. And then in there, we got St. Patrick's Day Lucky Pen. We got scissors, little bird scissors. These are really, really pretty. Like lovebirds or heart, no. I think they're lovebirds. They're very, very nice scissors. I'm kind of looking around in here. And then we got water bottle for Pride. And it's a very good, sturdy water bottle. And we got a tablet holder, pattern holder to represent Earth Day. I have obviously not taken it out yet, but this will work. It's got the pieces here on the back. You put it together and you can put your pattern, your tablet. So this is something that is going to go into my travel stitchy bag for when I go places. So that was absolutely gorgeous. And then there was a couple of... So one of the things that we also got was a Star Wars bath bomb. Well, I'm not a bath bomb person, but Cece is, so I gave them my bath bomb. So when they do their unboxing or camp retreat or whatever, you'll see it. Also, if you see like Lynn Stitches Creates, Stitching Sorceress Shan, anybody else who attended Camp Black Needle, you'll see what the Stormtrooper bath bomb looked like. And then we got like a little like penguin popper thing with like a couple stickers in it. Nothing major. But oh yeah, so there's my name tag. So that was the first night. Then we got to, again, lots and lots of stitching done. And then Friday morning, we also, so then I woke up Friday morning, and I was one of the first ones in the stitching room, and everybody's like tearing the room apart. And I'm like, what the heck? Well, they hid Easter eggs all over the room. Now, if you got the gold egg, then you won a prize. And I think one of the prizes was like a $50 gift card to a local needlework shop. But most of the time, the eggs contained candy or floss. So I found some, so I gave back the candy, or I ate it, the candy already. So I got some Candy Apple Weeks Dye Works, got some Blanket Toile, and I got DMC 666. All useful, all able to fit well into my collection. So that was always fun because you never knew where the eggs were going to be hiding. Excuse me. One of the other things I got from camp was COVID. I was going to talk about that later, but the cough reminded me. About 8 of us have tested positive since we got back from camp, and I'm one of them. So I feel pretty good other than this nagging cough and occasionally being tired. But that's just that's the risk that you take when you go into a large event with people coming from all over the place. I mean, it is what it is. I'm feeling okay. Checked 2 other people at my table tested positive. They're in different stages of being on the mend. And it stinks because some people got it, some people didn't. There was no rhyme or reason. We were all, I'm fully vaxxed, so. So forgive the coughing because that is the lingering aspect of COVID. So I made my notes here. Like, what did I do each day? Okay, so then Friday, also, Friday was my husband's birthday. And so I took him out to lunch to Arthur Bryant's Barbecue. And Arthur Bryant's Barbecue is probably the most famous or one of the most famous barbecue places in Kansas City. And that's saying something because Kansas City is pretty famous for their barbecue. If you watch the show Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus, you'll understand Arthur Bryant's Barbecue. So we went there and had some amazing, amazing brisket. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then I came back and the vendor room was open. And Jim was like, "No, I'm just going to take your wallet." And haha, he never actually did. But I was trying to be good, trying to be good. But when you have amazing vendors, you can't help. So let me show you the stuff that I found in the vendor room. So of course the Black Needle Society was one of the vendors. And so they have products in their vault. So I got the snail that matches the pattern that Sue gave me. I got their piece Let It Snow from the first Nicelets box that I didn't get. And then Misty from Mystics Fabrics there had a whole bunch of stuff there. And so I ended up just getting one of her grab bags. So I went for 32 count Lugana. I'm trying to expand my horizons past Ada, but I really, really don't like linen, and Lugana I'm fine with. So I got, in my grab bag here, I got Mother Nature. So it's a good neutral, but also different. And then I got Olympia. Again, I'm a nice neutral person. I know some people love all the colors, but I'm like, I'd rather the colors pop out of my floss. But then I got Silver Mist. And then I got everything else. So I got some good neutral fabrics to add to my stash there. And then I picked up Primrose Cottage's Autumn Rules. I bought the 4th of July rules at Nashville Market this year, and I've been working on it. So now I want the rest of the rules patterns because they're all about the same size, and once they get finished, my thought is I can put them on a board or on a frame and then just swap them out with the seasons. So I bought that to add to the collection. And then Judy Starkey of Judy's Project Bags was there, and I'm like, I don't need more project bags. But then I saw turtles. And I am working on a project called Endurance, and it's a turtle. And I said, I have to. I need something to put all the floss in. It's a heaven and earth design. So all of the floss now is in this project bag. So that was Friday. I was very good. I tried to be very good, and I said, that's it. So Saturday morning, we did a game, and it was essentially a stash dive. So if you've ever done a digital retreat with the Black Needle Society, you know what a stash dive is. But essentially what they did was they gave everybody at the table a list of like 80 items. And they said, you can't go up to your room. And it all has to be within arm's reach of you. So your bag, stuff in front of you. And they gave us 10 minutes at who can come up with the most. Well, I got through and I had about 20. And so did another person. And I'm completely blanking on their name. And so she and I had tied for the most. So we settled it the old-fashioned way. A good old round of rock, paper, scissors. 3 rounds. I won. So I got another prize pack. So in that prize pack, I got a $10 gift card to CC and Company, which I spent. So I'll talk about that in a second. And then I got vintage fabric. So this is the fabric from the camp pattern. So now I have it for something else. I got lots of patterns. So I got a Stitcher's Garden from Tiny Modernist. This one made me laugh. Lucy Beam, buying cross stitch like I'm immortal. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing this year. I think my husband said I'm at $2,000 for cross stitching, and I don't even think that's counting the travel to the retreats. So yeah, I've been buying cross stitch like I'm immortal. So I guess I just better not die. And then heartstring sampleries, my scissors, my rules. And then Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitcheries Betsy's Halloween Basket. So those are the patterns. And then I got some more floss, or as my husband likes to call it, string. So I'll put this down. So I got all Gentle Arts again. So some of it, so I have a couple of these just says limited edition color fast. I have no idea what the name of it is, but it's a really cool color. So there's a green. And then I got goldenrod. I got dragon fruit. And I got wisteria. And so on top of that, I had a gift card, and since Saturday was the only day CC's was open, we had to make a trek over to CC's store. Not the CC that I sat with, but Sicilian Company in Blue Springs, Independence, in that area. It's Katie and Laura's local LNS. So I went there, and I saw this. Those of you who know me know that I'm a Slytherin. So this is a project bag handmade by Stitchy Missy. This was the only Slytherin one there. So I grabbed that. Then I grabbed Hive rules to go along with autumn rules and the 4th of July rules. So I think the only one that I'm missing right now is Christmas rules. But so I got the Hive rules. I got some Nerd hoops. So that's what these are. I'm already liking these way better than the round hoops because it feels like you have more stitchy area, especially when you're trying to put this up in the corner. So there's 4 sizes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I got a 1, and this is a 3. And I'm wishing I just bought the whole set. But, oh well, I'll get them eventually. And then CC's also gave out their free pattern. So I got another set of scissors, a little scissor fob that says, I'd rather be stitching. So this is courtesy of CC and Company. And Rosie and Me Creation. So if you want to email them, that's their info. And after that, I was like, I'm done. I was true to my word. I was done buying stuff. So we pretty much just spent Saturday just a lot of talking. Just hanging out, getting to know my friends, playing some games. And then Sunday, some people had to leave early, so I didn't get a chance to see them. I stayed in the stitching room until about noonish. And then my husband and I went over to the kids for a barbecue. And then by the time I got back, the stitching room had closed and a lot of people had either left or were resting. So I ended up for a while going up and hanging out with Cece, Mariette, and Sam up in Cece's room. Just again, I really didn't want the weekend to end. I've known many of these stitchers for 4 or 5 years now. This was the first time meeting them in person, and I really didn't want to say goodbye. Really didn't want to say goodbye. So so then Monday we got in the car and drove home. Got home Tuesday morning, and I started showing COVID symptoms on Tuesday. I tested positive on Wednesday. So here I am sitting by myself in quarantine because my husband still went off to what we had planned to do in West Virginia. But that's okay. I mean, he's having a good time, and I'm not infecting anybody. So I'm just filming a lot of floss tubes. So then what else happened at camp? So one of the things that they did was they gave out Mardi Gras beads for finishes. So traditionally at any cross stitch retreat I've ever been to, once you have a finish, you ring the bell and everybody cheers for you. So I had 3 finishes at camp. So the first finish, I was super happy to get this done, was the Gilmoreism Stitch Along from Forbidden Fiber Co. There we go. So it's a little bit easier. I finished off the bottom one that says it means he's sleeping with a zucchini. So this was a finish. This was the first finish of the weekend. And then the second finish was one that I started in the car on my way to retreat. So, so some background on this, and I'll try to drop the link below. The day that Joe Biden announced that he was no longer going to be running for president, Rebel Stitcher Designs got inspired and designed a pattern revolving around Kamala Harris. And what they decided to do was they said it's going to be a free pattern, but in order to get the free pattern, you have to donate to Kamala's campaign. You have to donate to a similar social cause if you didn't want to donate directly to her. And she'd send you the pattern. So I started the pattern on the way to retreat. So it's probably somewhere in West Virginia. And then I finished this Friday night. So that's what it is. It is stitched in DMC 320 and 311, I think. The only change that I made was that I changed the names to the other color because the names were all supposed to be in the dark color. So I really, really, really love stitching on this. This was super easy. And so I'll put a link to her Flosstube or look for Rebel Stitcher Designs on Instagram for details on how you too can get this pattern. So then that was my other finish. And then it is tradition, I've discovered, for people at camp to stitch the camp snail. I mean, that's just what you do. And then on the last night, they have pictures of everybody. They have a picture of everybody with their completed snails. So I was able to get this little guy finished. So that is the retreat snail, stitched in the called for colors. And so that allowed me to get Mardi Gras beads after I rang the cowbell. So those were my finishes. The other projects that I worked on, I obviously worked on the pieces that I finished. I also worked on Nola from Heaven and Earth Designs. During the retreat, I worked kind of over here because I tried to work on this. I've now since finished this. This was kind of yesterday's thing. But this was kind of hard with the harsh light in the retreat room. So working on bringing down the black and starting this red section, I think the end, like the piece ends here. So my goal for the rest of this month is to at least try to bring one row over so that way I have the whole thing, at least the first row done, and then I can just start working my way down. And I've had several people ask me to bring this. I have brought this to the other 2 retreats that I've gone to this year. And people are in love with the colors, and so am I. And some people were amazed that I'm stitching this 2/1 full cross on 25 count easy grid Lugana. So you kind of get a little bit close in there. You can see sometimes there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say stiffness. I like the coverage and it works for me. So I always say stitch your own stitch. If you don't like to do 2/1, do 10 stitch. Do 1/1 full cross. Don't do a Haid. You do what works for you. But I was just happy to get some stitches in on this, although not nearly as much as I wanted to. But I did get 3 finishes during retreat. So for a person who doesn't finish a whole lot, that was big for me. And then the last thing I hit was the freebie table. So at StitchCon, I sat next to the freebie table and was there kind of all weekend. This weekend, I was a lot more judicious with what I picked out. I took out a whole bunch of stuff, and I think only 2 things that I had taken out were still left on the freebie table by the end of the weekend. When I met up with Amanda in Lexington on the way out to camp, she gave me her box of stuff, and so she gave me kind of first dibs at what she had. And then I just kind of poked and prodded through there. So I'll show you my haul from the freebie table. And so a lot of good stuff. I got a couple of things in progress. Amanda has decided she's not so much of an Aida stitcher, so she gave me, so I took all of her colored Aida. I mean, it's not fancy schmancy. It's like the stuff you get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but as I said before, I'm more of a neutral stitcher. I don't know if I'd spend a whole heck of a lot of money on colored fabric unless it really, really jumped out. But something like that will give me a chance to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. So I got a lot of that. I got this beautiful, beautiful purple fabric. A lot of it. I think she was telling me she had started a project, didn't care for the color or the coverage or whatever. So she just put that in. So that is a lot of purple fabric. I do love the color purple, so I will definitely find a use for that fabric. And then let's see, somebody put a kind of a UFO project in there. And I was eyeballing the project bag because I like these. I just haven't bought one yet. And then the lady who had put it in there, she said, no, if you want to finish it, that's great. So this is Dimensions Gold Collection, or excuse me, Aurora Cabin. Absolutely gorgeous. And so this is how much they had done on it. I do not know when I will get a chance to work on this, but I'm assuming this is everything that came in the kit. So this is where they're at on it. Quite a bit done. And then she didn't really say what caused her to say, nope, I'm UFOing this. But inside the bag, there is the pattern, all the floss that comes with it. So that is something that's going to go into my whip pile, and I will see what I can do on it. And then the rest of these were all patterns. Oh, more purple fabric. Amanda went through like 2 or 3 different kinds of purple fabric before she figured out what she wanted. And then lots of goodies here. So this is, throw that down to the side. So then I saw this. It's the most wonderful time of the year. This is from a magazine, from Cross Stitch Gold magazine. And this is an Emma Congdon design. And I actually have really, really admired her designs. I've just never actually stitched one. And so since I like Christmas, but I'm not a big Santa Claus person, I will always kind of seek out the holiday patterns without Santa Claus on them. So this one fit that bill, and I'm excited to stitch that. And then Amanda had these in her, she had both of these. One she has started. So Satsuma Street has Pretty Little New York and Pretty Little London. Well, I went to New York for my 40th birthday, and it's a place that I'm planning on getting back to quite a bit. And I'm going to London for the first time next month. So I was like, absolutely. So I'm imagining this one's actually going to end up in my travel bag going over to London. So I was like, I have to. Those fit me perfectly. And then Ursula Michaels, Let's Trick or Treat. Again, I'm not a huge Halloween person, but because it's one of my husband's favorite holidays, I'm like trying to find more things. So this might be an easy one to stitch because I've stitched a lot of her things before. And I wouldn't say that they're weekend stitches, but they're stuff that you can knock out fairly quickly. So this will be one that'll go into the rotation, and I'll start at some point. And then keep going down. When I saw the Slytherin, I had to. Come on, you know me. And so then I also saw the companion Ravenclaw. So my friend Emily is a Ravenclaw, and I'm friends with several people on the Ravenclaw team for Frogwarts. And so I'm probably going to stitch this up. So I will stitch this up for me, and then stitch this up probably for Emily or somebody else on the Ravenclaw team. So if you get this one day, surprise. And then as I kept going through the bin, there was a Celtic Blessing. And since I'm part Irish, and I don't have any St. Patrick's Day patterns, and this is a full kit. This is the type of pattern that you might find at Joann's. So I have this, and I will start this for St. Patrick's Day. And then I was actually super excited because I've been seeing a lot of people stitch on these, but I've never gotten them until now. Heart and Hands Tiny Towns. So the first one was Any Town, Tiny Town. And then there was her Christmas Tiny Town. These can be small enough to be made into a drum. I've seen a lot of people stitching on these, so I can't wait to try them. And I know there's several more in the series, and so I may end up getting more. And then I believe somebody gave me this bookmark as a table gift, but the pattern that came with it is a fleur-de-lis, so New Orleans. And then there was 18 count Aida. I don't know if this was, so this is white and somebody dyed this. So this was original, so this is somebody's hand dyed Aida. I don't know who hand dyed it, but there you are. And again, because I am trying to branch out and be a color person, there you go. So that is all my haul. I had an amazing, amazing weekend with all of my friends. I spent a lot of time with Cece and Pumpkin and Amanda and Mariette and Sam and Sarah and Jen and Tara and Katie and Laura and Kat and Sue and Shan, Naomi. Gosh, so many people. All people that I've chatted with online for years, and it was so great to actually hug them. It was like Laura came up to me and she's like, I can touch you. And so we kept going up to each other. We can touch you. And then Sarah, the redneck bifocal stitcher, was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we get to hug. And so lots and lots of hugs, lots and lots of laughs. And my husband got to meet them, and they got to meet my husband because he is a fixture on the BNS chats, just interjecting different things. And I got to eat some good barbecue. I ate at Culver's probably at least once a day. Had to go get my butter burger and my chocolate concrete mixer. I really, really, really wish they'd bring Culver's to this side of the mountain. It's a Midwestern thing, but you don't really see them east of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I think the closest one to us is in Ohio. I think. Maybe. So let me think what else. Talked about COVID. That was the only thing. It was like, it just kind of sucked when I came home and everybody started popping positive. And when I got home, I'm like, yeah, my throat hurts, but meh. But since I knew that my husband and I were supposed to, I was supposed to go to North Meets South Needlework Showcase this weekend, and he's going to a race in West Virginia. So I said, well, let me just test so that way I can figure out what's going on. And it came positive. I went, dang it. So thankfully, Jim's tested negative twice. So he left yesterday. So I said, I'm kind of quarantining here in the house by myself. If you watch my Frogwarts haul box and my Under the Stars unboxing, you might hear in my voice that I'm a little congested because that's pretty much what the Rona's done to me. It still sucks to get it, but it could be so much worse. So with that, I do plan on going back to Camp Black Needle next year. I think their theme is going to be murder mystery. And we're going to go see, possibly go see the a performance of Clue as part of it. So I'm already looking forward to that already. I can't believe I have to wait 364 days to do it again. But it was worth it to see them in person. So with that, I think I'm going to sign off and put all this stuff away. Been trying to find places for all of my stuff, trying to figure out, what I've got, where it's going to go, and then sit down and actually get some stitching done. So I think my next floss tube will probably be at the end of the month when I go over what I've done in August outside of retreat, all my WIPGO calls, all of my Stitching the Summer Olympics, and all those things. So with that, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think of the video. Give me some suggestions as to what other things I could buy. Are there any more of those rules patterns? Let me know. Follow me on Instagram, Walking in Stitches, and you'll see more content there. So anyhow, until next time, don't forget to stitch your own stitch. Have a great day.